Hey guys. Okay, so disclaimer. First of all, if the mic quality sounds a little bit different, it's just because I'm not in exactly the same area that I was when I did my review. And also, this is going to be completely unscripted, so I'll try and edit out like some ums and long pauses and stuff like that. But it's going to be unscripted for the most part, which I'm not used to. I do have some notes, so I'll be referring to them because I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. So first of all, thank you guys so much for watching the Tears of the Kingdom review. It was a long undertaking. If you listen to the beginning of the script, I actually mentioned that I had written it 2 months after the game had come out, and I had only posted the video like a year after Tears of the Kingdom release. So it was a really long delay. Part of it was getting footage and then writing the script and then recording stuff and cutting stuff out and adding, all music and all that kind of stuff. And I had other things going on as well in my life. Some of it was procrastination, I can't deny, but it really did take a long time. So I would have been happy if the video had gotten like 5 or 10,000 views. Especially given my subscriber count is not really that high and I don't really upload frequently. I wasn't really expecting that much. So to get 30,000 views in about a month was really good. So thank you guys so much. I read and continue to read every single comment that comes through. I really like seeing everyone's thoughts on that. So I really appreciate that. There were some comments about because I got some comments from people saying, I can't wait for the next one. And it's kind of hard to say, but like usually because I've had the channel for like 10 years and I just upload whenever I feel like doing something. Like I don't have a frequent upload schedule. I don't try to adhere to like, oh my God, guys, I'll get back to you in like next month with a new video. Like that's never really been my thing. I just upload whenever I'm really passionate about something. But I did get a lot of comments from people asking, when the next project is, or just saying I'm looking forward to more from you, and I don't want to let those people down. So I will try to deliver more content. I cannot guarantee that it will be very soon. I'm kind of at a weird transitional point in my life. I am moving. And I promise, by the way, I'm not doing that thing that a lot of content creators do to justify their laziness when they say, oh, I was just so busy and I was going through a hard time and I was moving and I was doing all this other stuff. And it's really just they were being lazy. I will acknowledge when I'm being lazy, okay? And I don't need a reason to not upload because I'll go 3 years without uploading. I don't give a shit. That's how I've always done it. So please believe me when I say I really am moving and I'm dealing with some other stuff right now. So I do want to commit to making more videos, probably in the same review style that I did for the Tears of the Kingdom review. I don't know how soon a video like that will come out, and I also don't think I'm ever going to do a video quite that long. I can think of exactly one other game where I might make a review that's as long as the Tears of the Kingdom one. I don't know if I want to say what it is yet. But besides that, if I do a review on any other kind of game, it would probably be like an hour or something like that, something a little more realistic, so I can actually get it out and not have to deal with editing something so massive, because the editing process, oh my lord, I was using Pinnacle Studios, which is a really old program that would come when you bought a Dazzle capture card back in the days when like you wanted to record footage for like a GameCube game. And I had that program all the way back from when I bought a Dazzle to do my Metroid Prime Let's Play, which is still on the channel. I'm like 13 years younger. It's amazing. So I'm not going to use that program going forward. I'm learning DaVinci Resolve. So hopefully I have a little bit of an easier time with the editing process. So speaking of future projects going forward, I do want to mention Echoes of Wisdom did come out. I have played it. I've actually beaten it as of recording this video. I did not beat it as of writing my notes. So here's the thing. What's really funny is that a lot of my better viewed content actually comes from Zelda related stuff. My number one video that I've done is the Zelda guide that I did for Super Smash Bros. And while that's not exactly Zelda game related, it's Smash Brothers, it's still Zelda the character. And then of course I did this Tears of the Kingdom review. So you might actually think that I'm like a really big Zelda stan, but I'm actually not really. It's just, Tears of the Kingdom specifically really struck a chord with me and I really wanted to talk about it. That track record might lead you to believe that I'm like this huge Zelda simp and I do cosplays and I go to all the conventions. But I'm really not. I'm actually not that crazy about the Zelda series. So if you were looking forward to like doing like a King K sort of like I'm going to run through all the Zelda games and do a review on every single one of them, I'm probably not going to do that. Maybe in the future, but I just want to focus on things that I just have an immediate passion for at this moment, which means that I'm probably going to be talking about some more obscure titles. I don't want to spoil. And as for Echoes of Wisdom, since I brought it up, it's a very good game. I do recommend you go play it, but I am sort of at a loss for what sort of comments I could make about it, because, you know, it's a good game. I could make some, you know, little nitpicks and say like, oh, I really like this part of the story, and, you know, like, oh, this was fun and this was cool and this was not so good. But I don't really find that I could think of anything of true substance to really add to any sort of dialogue about Echoes of Wisdom, other than it's a good game, go play it. I do think it's worth full price. I thought it was really creative and fun. It's definitely my favorite 2D Zelda, but that's not really a high bar considering that I don't really like the 2D Zeldas in the first place, so having one that sticks out above the rest is not really that much of an accomplishment. So I won't be doing an Echoes of Wisdom review, at least not at this time. I will probably be moving on to something else. Oh yes, okay, so by the way, regarding the Tears of the Kingdom video, there was something, a really common talking point that I got in the comments, which was that a lot of people would comment, and I'm not disparaging you guys, I promise. A lot of people would comment and say something like, oh, you know, this Tears of the Kingdom review, I'm so glad it exists because there's so much negativity about it, and I'm so glad someone came out to prove the haters wrong. And, you know, I'm glad that you liked the video, because it was, because it was positive. But I actually did not make it as any sort of response to any particular video. Like, I know there's lots of videos critiquing Tears of the Kingdom, and a lot of them come from a very similar perspective where, you know, like, this game good, but is it good? Like, it's always like, good, but bad, actually. I don't want to name names, but, you know, a lot of them are really popular, so I'm sure if you've seen my review, you've seen theirs. You know, there's nothing wrong with that perspective, of course. If you feel that way about the game, that's fine. But when I wrote the review, like I mentioned, I had written the script really, like, close to the game's release. It was only like a month and a half, 2 months after I had played the game, after it had released. And at that point, discourse about the game was still overwhelmingly positive. Like, even then, if you went to, like, Twitter or X, I'm calling it Twitter. Even back then, if you went to Twitter, people were still upvoting like, oh my god, look at this cool contraption you can make. Like, this was like Tears of the Kingdom was still in like the media. It was still on the timeline, you know? So I didn't actually make it as a response to any particular video. It may seem that way just because like of when it released. And I did decide to title the video, you know, as such, you know, like why it is a masterpiece, you know, sort of implying like, you know, like this, despite what you heard, it is good. But genuinely, when I wrote the review, I had no intention of it being sort of a contrarian video to sort of respond to people who were criticizing the game. Truly, my perspective was only to, you know, I really like Tears of the Kingdom, and I want to talk about why it's so good, because it's really easy to talk about why a game is bad. Because when something is bad, usually it's pretty obvious that it's bad, and therefore breaking it down is not really that exciting for me. Usually, when something is good, it's really difficult to understand why it's good because it just works. And sometimes it can be hard to really, you know, pin down why something is good. There's like that quote from Futurama that I'm thinking of where Bender meets God, and God says, you know, when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. And I think that actually applies to good video games, because when something works so flawlessly, it's really hard to appreciate it because it doesn't stick out, because it, you know, it just works and flows really well. I think the point in the review where this is the most evident is when I talk about the, I think it's Geokum Shrine, the one that's near the Gerudo town. I talk about how seamlessly the game directs you to go to that shrine without actually making you do it. And so many people playing the game normally will not really understand how much intention went behind the construction of the map and the, you know, the geography and the sandstorm and making the shrine the only one that's visible. Like, all of these are conscious decisions, and a lot of players they're not really cognizant of that. And I like to take moments like that and put it in people's faces and say, look, this is why this is actually so good. I really like breaking down things from that positive perspective, and a lot of people seem to respond positively to it. So I'm going to keep going forward with that sort of same mentality. I will, of course, still have criticisms of games, you know, that I choose to review the same way I did with Tears of the Kingdom, but I really do want to come at it from the perspective of, I really like this game and here's why it's good. because I think that's much more interesting, and there's not really that much of that online nowadays. Everything is so negative, particularly with Tears of the Kingdom, but also with lots of other games too. So, because that perspective was so appreciated, I want to bring that forward and do more content from that perspective. What else do I got here? Yeah, that's it. So I do have a couple of ideas for, what game I will do next. I can't guarantee that it'll be out super soon, but I will try to get on it as soon as I'm able to, gathering footage, writing a script. I don't know how often I'll be uploading or how long the videos will be, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be working on more as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much, once again, for the support on the Tears of the Kingdom review. I appreciated every single comment that came through. Yeah, so just look forward to it. I expect this video to get like 30 views. I don't really care. This is just for the people who subscribe, because I did get like 200 subscribers or something like that. So for anyone who's new, hi, I rarely upload, but I'm going to try to upload more. Okay, thank you guys so much. You have a nice one.